This year we are launching something new and exciting on George, Radio Frequency Identification, or RFID for short. Like the name suggests, it's a way to identify product through radio waves rather than scanning a barcode. It works by using an RFID handheld device which emits radio waves. A tiny chip with an antennae called an RFID tag is attached to our swing tickets and is activated by radio waves which transmits its identification back to the RFID handheld. Unlike scanning a barcode, which requires you to be relatively close to the swing ticket, the RFID handheld can read hundreds of RFID tags per second and up to a distance of 10 metres. So why do we need RFID? RFID's main purpose is to correct our store inventory. Our inventory on George is on average around 70% accurate, which is very poor. It starts off at 100% when a store has an annual stock take, and over the course of the year can go as low as 60%. So why do we need to correct inventory? The biggest reason is for stock allocation and replenishment. We allocate and replenish stock to stores based on inventory. So when your inventory is inaccurate, it means we are sending you stock you do not need or not sending you the stock that you really do need. Correct inventory is key to making sure stores have the right stock across all departments in Asda. However, George is the only department where we do not maintain it currently. On other departments, it is much simpler to maintain because of two main reasons. Firstly, other departments have shelf edge labels. These have the barcode of the product that can be scanned and make adjustments if needed. And secondly, every product has one barcode, whereas on George, every style has a different barcode for the different sizes. We could provide the barcodes for every style by size to go behind the arms of products, but imagine having to manage these every time you re-merchandise. Or where we have an arm with fragmented stock, not to mention the time it would take to check every size of every style. Without shelf edge labels and with our size complexity, currently the only way to truly correct inventory on George is to scan every barcode, like how our stock takers do annually. For those of you that have been around for a while, you'll remember we used to do this on departments like schoolwear, kids essentials and adult essentials at different times of the year. The process took a very long time and sometimes caused more inaccuracies, and it never improved the total George inventory. On George, we need a solution to capture exactly what's in our stores without the need to scan every barcode, and that's where RFID comes in. Because it can read tags so quickly, it allows us to correct our inventory, just like when it's corrected at stock take, but in a fraction of the time. A single colleague in an average size store can do a full inventory stock count in 2 hours, or 1 hour just using 2 colleagues. We piloted RFID in 7 stores back in 2021 to see just how well our inventory improved. The pilot showed our inventory went from being on average 65% accurate up to 98%. And not surprisingly, against a set of control stores, sales improved between 1% and 3% because those stores were receiving the replenishment that they needed. We also saw overall stock volumes decrease whilst having full shop floors as they had more of the right stock available to the customer. We know the results will be even better when store inventories are correct in all our stores, because this will mean our buying and trading teams can more accurately buy the correct volumes and make sure they are distributed correctly across our 3 DCs and then into the right stores. RFID is not a new technology and has been around for a while. In fact, most of our competitors we benchmark ourselves against are already using RFID. Marks & Spencer's, they're fully deployed across clothing and home. Tesco, they're also fully deployed across F&F in all their stores, and they're currently exploring opportunities in home and food. H&M, they utilise RFID globally across all of its clothing sites and across certain categories of cosmetics. Matalan, they're also fully deployed across clothing and home. And then Next, actively exploring RFID opportunities across clothing. And Zara, these are the industry leaders in the RFID space. They're fully deployed across clothing globally and throughout their end-to-end supply chain. We've been exploring RFID for a few years, but now is the right time as the cost of RFID tags and the technology has dropped significantly, and the recent upgrades to our internal systems through PowerUp gives us better accuracy and intelligence across planning, buying and the supply chain. So how does it work? Well, we have been live with RFID in our Telford Living store since the end of last year for final tests and tweaks before we roll out. Here's Steph to tell you more.
In our store, we have 3 RFID handhelds which are only used on George. Keeping our inventory correct starts with a full stock count, which we do every Sunday morning before we open. It's pretty simple to do. Colleagues start a count on the shop floor, walk up and down the aisles scanning every bay to make sure they capture all stock, and do the same in the warehouse. It takes 1 colleague around an hour, or when we have 2 colleagues doing the count together, it takes us just under half an hour. The weekly count corrects our inventory and removes anything that may have been stolen, but we also maintain our inventory throughout the week. We do this by following 3 main processes. When we get a delivery, we receipt that delivery by scanning it in. This updates our inventory with what we actually receive and stops any inaccuracies from the DC. We can scan a whole delivery in a minute or 2. Whenever we move stock from the warehouse to the shop floor or vice versa, we scan that stock to keep the inventory location accurate. Customer returns are scanned so they are added back into the inventory, and we do the same with waste to remove them. Having correct inventory by location also means we have 2 amazing new functionalities. The first is that we can scan any item and it shows us the size breakdown and how many we have at each location. This means we never have to make wasted trips to the warehouse when helping customers. And when all stores go live, you can even check the live inventory in any store. We can even use the device to locate an item. You can visually see and hear beeps as you get closer to the item you are looking for. The second is that we can replenish our shop floor much more efficiently by prioritising what is off sale or near off sale, simply by scanning the product in the warehouse. The system tells you which styles by size to pick as you walk past a bay. All the processes and functions are within one app called Clarity. It is very easy to use. Even our technophobe colleagues find it easy.
Before we can roll out to all stores, all our stock must have RFID tags. An RFID tag consists of a microchip the size of a grain of sand and an antennae. The microchip has a unique code and is also programmed with the product barcode. These RFID tags are attached to our swing tickets and barcode stickers before being placed on products at the manufacturers. When the swing tickets and labels with product information are produced, RFID tags are attached at the same time. Depending on the type of swing ticket or label, the product information is either printed on the label or RFID tag. They are then passed through a machine which programs the RFID tags with the same product barcode. We started this process last year in May, so all stock orders since then have been placed with RFID tags. Because we have suppliers all over the world and our lead times on products is between 4 and 40 weeks, this means that it will take some time before all our store stocks have RFID tags. You will have noticed them on some stock for a while now, and they can be identified with an RFID logo. Product now arriving at our 3 distribution centres is RFID enabled, and at present we estimate that 65% of all stock within the business is tagged. During February and at the start of March, our DCs will be encoding RFID tags to all carryover and continuity stock, so that from mid-March all stock being delivered to stores will have RFID tags. From mid-March, we estimate that 80% of all stock within the business will be tagged and we will be ready to start deploying. So to take you through the store rollout plan, here's Mel.
Once all stock being delivered into stores are tagged, any untagged carryover and continuity stock in stores will also need to be tagged before a store can go live. To do this, we're using third-party colleagues which will visit every store over a 15-week period to perform this activity. This means that we will go live in stores over a phased period as store tagging is completed. There are 7 phases in our rollout plan. In phase 1, we will launch in 1 store in every region across weeks 14 and 16. These stores will become experts with the technology and processes, so they can serve as training stores. The George trading managers, section leaders and colleagues in these stores will be trained by the RFID project team. 7 regions will go live in week 20. Six regions will go live in week 21. 5 regions will go live in week 23. 4 regions will go live in week 24. 7 regions will go live in week 26. And the final 5 regions will go live in week 27. Before a region goes live within a phase, third-party colleagues will attend the store and complete tagging on night shifts. RFID handhelds will be delivered and set up in stores by engineers. George trading managers, section managers and section leaders will attend their region's training store for a half-day training and upskilling session. You will then be provided with the tools you need to train your own colleagues before going live. Here's Kelly to take you through what happens next.
You will receive a newsflash containing a briefing pack on Monday the 6th of February. This will detail when your store will be tagged by third-party colleagues, when your devices will be delivered and set up, when you will attend your training, when you will train your colleagues, and when you will go live. You will also be provided with documents to support you in getting ready, which includes countdown checklists for when your store will be tagged and for going live. We hope that once you have been through all the details, everything is clear. However, you will be fully supported throughout the rollout, and if you have any queries, there is an email address within the newsflash that you can use. I have 3 actions for you to take away today. 1. Make sure you take the time together as a George leadership team to go through the newsflash and documentation on Monday the 6th of February. 2. Revisit the back of house standards and processes pack on One Asda, especially the section around customer returns and attaching swing tickets to garments that need them. And 3. Review your contract base and ensure any vacancies are filled. You'll be given a wage RMI adjustment of 3 hours per George colleague for training, so you also need to have flexibility within your contract base to ensure all colleagues are fully trained.
The implementation of RFID is the biggest change we have had on George for a very long time. Once we are live for the first time, we'll have true visibility of stock volumes on the shop floor and in the warehouse by style and size in every store. This will immediately improve overall stock volumes, improve size availability to the customer, and therefore improving customer satisfaction. The supply team will be able to make more precise changes to help stores, and markdown reductions will be logical as they will be based on correct volumes. By having RFID and correct inventory unlocks new capabilities and benefits. For example, customers will be able to check store availability online so they can choose if they want to order or pop down to their local store to collect. And there are benefits in the long term too. Our stock volumes will improve even further with accurate data for our buying and trading teams to rely on. Having the right stock in the right stores will also reduce markdowns. We will also have accurate data to support shrink in stores. RFID also unlocks the ability to pick from store and enables more confidence for George product to be included on grocery home shopping. And then finally, enhancing the customer experience like digital mirrors or screens in fitting rooms that can provide additional information to our customers. I hope you're excited just as much as we are. Thank you.